Hi everyone, welcome back to today's video. So today I'm going to be talking to you about what's been happening and what's happened and all of that. I told you about it on my last video, the Revolution haul, that I was going to do this video. And I'm out of breath because I've just ran upstairs and set up everything. I don't know why I don't just sit there and wait a minute, but you know, these things happen. I'm all a mess, I'm all dishevelled, I've got the whole day's makeup still on my face. Yeah. Anyway, so, yeah, it was around about, just remembering dates, it was around about mid-April, no it wasn't mid-April, it was around about mid-March, and I had a call because what happened was my mum had been out, yet again too far, went out to the post office and to the local Tesco, and then, you know, she was fine doing that, although, you know, debatable. She was very frail, very thin, and very little. She used to be a little bit taller than me, and I'm 5'2", and she ended up being really short. So I used to often say, "You're my Polly in my pocket," and she used to go, "Stop it, you." So anyway, yeah, it was around, I would say, early to mid-March. She has this call button on. It's a lifeline button where she'll press it and somebody will answer and ask if she's okay, send out people if she's not, and all of that. So they phoned me and said she'd pressed it because she'd fallen, and can I get up there? So I got up there as soon as I could. The fast response emergency team was up there with her, and I think I've already told you about this in a video, I think. I'm not sure, it could have been a short, I'm not sure. Anyway, so I got up there and everything. She was in a lot of pain. What it was, she'd come back in from going out. She'd got her four-wheeled walker. She didn't put the brakes on it when she got it into the house, into the kitchen. Went to grab for it. Obviously it went away from her and she fell. So in a lot of pain with her leg, etc, etc. So she got took to the hospital. She broke, let's see, which side was it? Yeah, the left femur, the same leg as she'd broken the year previous. So she's talented. She was talented. So she broke that. So they did an operation on that. And also she broke her wrist. So they put a cast on that. They didn't need to operate. So anyway, that's keeping you up to date if you're not aware of it. From, you know, a while ago. So that all happened and everything. They said to me they'll operate on the next day or the Thursday. I never heard anything from anyone. The Leicester Royal Infirmary are horrendous. They don't inform you of anything. They don't tell you of anything. You get rude, unresponsive staff members answering their phones. Oh, terrible. The amount of flipping calls I've had to make and then call back, and oh, they're a nightmare. So anyway, I was told that by a consultant eventually. So because when she was in A&E waiting to go to a ward, I didn't know what was happening, and I gave it a few hours because I know how long they can be in there. And then I rang and they said, "Oh, she's not been seen yet, but you know, she has had an x-ray." So not long after that I got a call from the consultant down at A&E. It told me about the breakages, because he said to me at the time, because you see, over the last few years, Mum broke 4 ribs, a pelvic bone, another rib later on, again, a leg twice, a hip, and then a wrist this time as well. I think she was going for the world record. So she broke all them bones amongst the last 4 years. Oh, honestly, it's been such a nightmare at times. But anyway, so yeah, so they told me she was staying in, obviously. And then I got a call the next day from the consultant. Was it the next day? Was it? Yes, it was. Consultant in the ward that told me about the operation and stuff. So I thought, okay, I should get a call when she's been operated on. Nothing. Absolutely bugger all. So I ended up phoning them. Actually, I could send notes to Mum through the hospital messaging service we have here. So I was sending stuff and said, I don't know how you are because nobody's telling me anything. And that alerted them to move it. So at least something happened there. So I did get a call and he said, is your mum always this confused? And I said, yeah, pretty much. She was diagnosed, well, actually they figured it out at the hospital last year, where they said, we think she's got early onset dementia. And so, you know, they pretty much thought, yeah, this is early onset dementia. And I've always noticed things going on over the years. So she's been in early stages of dementia a long time, which is pretty much unusual. And so it has been getting worse over the last few years, you know, and it's led to some very interesting conversations. So, you know, yeah, she normally is quite confused. Not quite as much as you're telling me, but, you know, yeah, pretty much. And he told me that she had a chest infection, because that can be the risk of, you know, the time waiting to get the operation done. And even though she did have it done on the Thursday, she fell on the Tuesday. Yeah, she had it done on the Thursday. And although she had it done then, she still got this chest infection. Now, she was managing to breathe in oxygen as much as she could, because my mum ended up being hunchback and bent forward quite a bit. So she was narrowing that space here for the oxygen and all of that. I'm not a medical professional, so, you know, you have to deal with what I say. So she was not breathing in as much oxygen as she should do, but also she wasn't breathing out the other stuff, which I also can't remember the name of. I will pop it here. So yeah, he basically said, look, she's in a really bad way. And I got that call. He said, you know, she could recover from this. Just be prepared for the worst. Was my initial thought. So I had that call and he said, can I call you night or day if, you know, it happens? And I just said, yes, of course. Of course. So there I am with my morning coffee, this going through my head, just being told my mum might we'll try that again. My mum might die. And I just, because Neil was in the bed that this camera's all set up on. And I just said to him, I've got to go now. I've got to go now. Right now. We'll go to the cab. I've got to go now. So we got ready. I could not, because there's an app on my phone which is for taxis. There's a couple of good ones, apparently. They used to work until the day you want them. So there I am trying to do all the stuff on the phone to get where I'm going to and from and all of that stuff, what you have to put in. I could not work my hands. I was like that. Could not type. I could not type. Anyway, so things weren't working. So Neil phoned the taxi firm, which I've got on the phone. One of them just no response at all. So I think they've possibly closed down. The other one couldn't get a cab to us for another hour, so we left that. And then we phoned this other one, and they said half an hour. Yeah. So, half an hour come and went. No taxi. Neil rang them up and, seen where they was. Oh, they're on the way. It's been a bit busy traffic. Okay, that's fine. So, 20 minutes later, it turns up. And fair dues to the guy, was a lovely man, and he took us up to the hospital and all of that, and it was fine. We got there. Now, I said to Neil, the Leicester Royal Infirmary is huge. I have no clue where I'm going. I get in that hospital and I go, okay, Windsor's over there, Balmoral's in here, but you see, the big part is Balmoral. Our hospital is got names of the various different palaces at London, you see. And so the main part we had to go into was Balmoral. Then you had Windsor that way and Kensington up that way and all of that kind of thing. I think we was at Kensington first. I think. Yeah, we was. I think first we went down... No, it was Windsor, I'm pretty sure. It doesn't matter, it's irrelevant to you. But so I went down that way. We did get a bit lost at a certain point, and somebody must have, somebody at work there obviously knows lost faces. It kind of helped. So we asked and she said, oh yeah, just walk back up a bit and the lift's there. And as soon as I got to them lifts, I went, oh, it's the second floor. Went in the lift, oh yeah, that way. How? That hospital is massive and you can get very lost and very confused, and yet I knew where I was going. No idea. So, anyway, we got to the ward where she was on, and I said to the nurse, I'll come see her and stuff. So I went over, and I was expecting the machines, and I was expecting the drip and all of that stuff. I was not expecting her to be completely out of it. She was asleep, but completely unresponsive, because when I usually just nudge my mum on the shoulder and talk to her, she'll wake up, but she didn't. She was very unresponsive, all curled up like that, and she looked so thin and frail, even more so. And then I was just talking to her and stuff, and just a little things and all of that, and she had her hand trapped around a 90. She couldn't free it, and I says, just a minute. So I managed to free her hand. I says, don't worry, I'll keep your modesty. So I managed to free her hand, so she seemed a bit more comfortable, but all the time she just kept going, no, no, no. And then, I could see she wasn't going to make it. I just knew she just wasn't going to make it. And I'm all over the place with this because this is very difficult to talk about. And so, there wasn't much we could do. We could have stayed there for, hours, and I don't know, you just know when there's nothing else you can do. And I just kissed her on the head, and I told her how much I love her, and I'll love her forever. But if she wants to go, you can go. I'll give her my permission to go. And then she reached out her hand to me, and I took hold of her hand. She knew I was there. She was waiting for me. She was waiting. She knew I was there. She just knew. So I took her hand and kissed her again and gave her a little squeeze, a little hug. and I just went bawling my eyes out. And so we got back here, but when we got back out, the outside, my words were all jumbled. Same situation, so just called the cab firm, and luckily the one that couldn't arrive for us straight away on getting there called, so he was very fast. Within 10 minutes he was there. So we got back here. I don't know how to feel. I'm waiting now for this call. Now I have this thing where I know when someone dies. I feel it. I know. I don't know what it is, but I just know. Stuart, however, managed to hide that from me, so I don't know how he did that. But I always call it the curse, because I always feel it. So I was here, and at 7:45, I just thought, she's gone. She's gone. She still hung on. She hung on for another 3 hours. Because when I did all that and gave her permission to go, she just went, Mum. Calling for her own mum. And they just went, no, no. She fought. She fought. So, yeah, at that time, I felt her go. And then too long after, the emergency doctor they had to call out. Sounds weird having an emergency doctor on call out at a hospital full of doctors. And he said how he had to be called out because things got a lot worse. And then he just went, I'm very sorry to tell you, I says, I know, she's gone. And he just said, yes, she is. And I have no tissues here. Yeah. So if you saw on the thumbnail, me hugging this is my mum's fleece, what she had on her bed. And I need that. So yeah, she went. And I miss her. Let me just get a tissue. Oh dear, crying on video again. I miss her so much. Even though she could be the biggest pain in the backside, honestly, she could. Oh my goodness. I forget. Going up there, and she'd ask if I could, check if the toilet upstairs was clean and all that stuff. And I'd sit down with a coffee, and she'd go, have you checked it? I went, give me a minute, Mum. I'm just having a coffee. 2 minutes later, have you checked it? Oh, for fuck's sake. Honestly, the time she could come out of that house and go, fucking hell. Never to her though. I'd always go up there, I'd always walk in because I had my own key, and I'd always be a smile and a hello, I wouldn't get annoyed with her, just not. But yeah, but miss her every day. Every single day. So I got a call, obviously, from the bereavement part of the hospital because I had her stuff, and said, oh, she got quite a considerable amount of cash in her bag. I just went, oh, send him 20 quid. Because I thought, you don't want to take a load of money, Mum, because she was terrible for hoarding money. So, not too much, you know what I mean? But, yeah. Turns out she took she didn't take a 20, what the fuck. took another 200, the sneaky sod. So anyway, anyway, regardless of that, because at the time of getting the taxi, we didn't have taxi money, but I knew I had my mum's money here because I wouldn't let her take all that in with her. Otherwise, she'd have had £500 in there. So I just went, you know what, she won't mind. So I just took it out there. Because I knew she wouldn't. So anyway, yeah. So anyway, they rang. Was, you know, talking about things. You know, everything goes on. If you've ever had to deal with a death in the family and had to do all the arrangements and everything, you'll know what I'm going on about. So, anyway, they told me about registering the death and things and what goes next and who am I choosing for the funeral directors, etc, etc. And the original thought was Gamble's at Syston, but unfortunately I just couldn't do that. But anyway, all that went on, and then I got a call from the coroner because they was doing their checks, and then I got a call a couple of days later from the coroner to say they've done them all and told me what the death cause was: breakages, respiratory infection and diabetes, which wasn't a surprise to me. And then I have been mulling over in my head at that particular point, how am I going to do all this? How? So, because Mum had a life insurance, she always used to say to me, oh, you'll be alright, don't worry. Don't worry, you'll be alright. It stopped it at 2017. So one part of that says yes, you get a payment without bonuses, and the other part says no, you get bugger all. So yeah, so I don't know about that still. You know, I'm still waiting on it. But anyway, all of that going on, and we can't afford the funeral. What am I going to do? I don't know what I'm going to do. We can't afford this. So, you know, all this is going on. And then I thought, I need to go back to the house. So I grabbed all her paperwork. She didn't just keep 20 plus years of paperwork of her own. She managed to keep my stepdad's as well. That was fun. So I spent about 6 hours sorting all that out. So, yeah, I've got everything necessary I need. And it's like, we can't do this. What am I going to do? So there is a solicitors online that said if you put your number down and everything, they'll call you on a Thursday morning between 10 and 12 for 20 minutes free advice. Nothing happened. Nobody phoned. So during this time of waiting for that, I was looking at something else. And then I seen the co-op funeral care and the legal services, what they do, because she left a will and I'm executor of the house, so basically that house is mine. I don't want a house, especially a knackered one, but I have one. So anyway, I still call it Mum's house. Can't get my head around it. Except when you've got somebody moving a fridge freezer and I'm saying don't get water on my carpet. I'll come to that in a minute. So anyway, so I went back and got all the mail and all the paperwork, and I think I've already gone through that. So yeah, she left a will, and yeah, all to me. My uncle just there, which was Bunt's brother, just to, in case I was so young at the time I needed extra support. So yeah, basically I thought, this has got to be probated. How do I probate? How do I do this? So this is what I was going to ask for free advice, but they never called back. So anyway, so I was looking myself just to think, I don't know what I'm doing. So I found Co-op Legal Services, and they pay for the funeral costs, They give you a fixed rate, obviously not with the added extras of when you get all the bills back and everything and whatever, but a fixed rate of what they'll cost to probate it and do all the other stuff like stop the DWP, stop, you know, with the pension, stop the banks. Instead of me, because I registered a death the week after, they basically do everything, so they'll stop the banks. So when you register the death, you get a form which is saying tell us once, and then that will just do everything. But I didn't need to because they're doing it, apparently. I'm not a bugger off from them for nearly 2 weeks, so you know. It did say within 14 days, so there's time, and I'm not too worried about that because, you know, they're possibly working on it. So anyway, they do all of that, so I've got no worries there. They've had every bit of information. When you email them stuff though, it would be nice to get a confirmation to say yes, we've got it, instead of just nothing, regardless. So I've arranged a funeral, but it won't be your usual funeral. Now, don't think I'm being heartless for this. Don't think this has been chosen lightly or anything like that, because I know certain people would probably think that, and it's not true. Is an unattended funeral. Now, my mum always said to me, do it as cheap as possible. Now, most of the family members and her sisters and stuff, not counting ones that, you know, that I know in Wolverhampton and Wales. Gail, hello if you're watching. Nothing like that. But ones that are living nearby and could go and see her, and I've not seen her for flipping years. What do they care? Why are you turning up for? You didn't give her monkeys about her when she was alive. Don't come fakery to me. So anyway, and that is not just the reason. The reason is I would prefer to have that day where I can play all her favourite songs. I've decided I'm playing one from the year she was born, and then every decade after that until present day. Although present day has become difficult. But anyway, even songs that just remind me of what we used to do together, go to clubs or not nightclubs or anything. You can't imagine my mum doing that, let alone me. No, working men's clubs when I was a child and stuff, you know. So, do all that. I've got a load of films and TV programmes to watch, which she loved. And so, I'm going to be doing that. Things in memory of Mum. My way. Because they do a nice enough job to sell it. Is it a celebrant? Something like that. They do a nice job. I'll give them that. They do come and talk to you about her and you tell them information, and they do the best they can. But it's not my words. They didn't know her like I know her. So the date is the 15th of May. So yeah, it's a long way off. I don't know whether it'll be the 15th of May now when you see this video, or it's gone, or it's coming, or whatever. But yeah, if you could just light a little candle for her, that'll be wonderful. So anyway, it's alright, I've got a YouTube video paused up there, it's distracting. So yeah, so I'd rather do that. And I'm going to get a bunch of lilies. Hopefully I can get one. Because she loved lilies. So I'm going to get them and put them in the house. And I'm going to do that. And then, I mean, Bunt's side of the family, Barry and Yvonne, have been lovely. You know, they have been really good. which is, you know, Bunt's brother and his wife. Excellent. I'm so glad I've got them, because, you know, I need that extra support, because like I said to her, I said, I don't know where I'm going, and then she guided me, and then things started to work, you see. So yeah, so I'll do that on the day, and then when I get her ashes, I'm going to take them home. I'm taking her home. I know the house is going to be sold, because it's got to be, because of money she owed and what will be able to, wish I could talk today, and what we will owe for DWP debt, what she had, also, you know, bits and bobs, the funeral and everything. So yeah, I'm taking her home, and I'm going to put her in the back garden, scatter her there, and then she can be there forever. And I'll have my own little memorial with my own words. I'll have it the way I want it. Because the last thing I want is people that couldn't give a monkeys about her in life turning up and pretending they care when they don't. And all they're doing is turning up for free food. There isn't no food. There wouldn't have been if I did do it the different way. So, you know, you're not going to get your belly full on me. So anyway, yeah. So that's all going through right now. Funerals arranged, finally. Had a little laugh with Neil, because I said, you know, to do both jobs, because the co-op funeral care where we've gone is at Syston. It's not far of a walk, about 2 minutes walk from the Aldi. So I'm going to collect my mum. And then she wanted to go round Aldi for weeks, so now she's going to. Not the way she thought, but you know. So we'll take her round Aldi and then take her back here for a little bit. And I want her with me. So I've been back to the house, because our fridge freezer here, what me and Neil are using, because Stephen uses his own. Because he had that with Stuart, but obviously it's just his. And it's about on its last legs. The drip tray underneath fell off, and you know what's going to happen with that. It's going to go. And the freezer part is very small, and the shelf thing came out and broke, so we've not had that for a hell of a long time, so everything's stacked up. You open the freezer door and hope something doesn't jump out at you, food wise obviously. So yeah, so Mum's fridge freezer is newer and more energy efficient, so we've had that. So the weekend I went down and emptied it and turned it off and everything. And then Neil and Stephen went to pick it up yesterday, and it's currently still in the entry, because you have a little entry here. If you have terraced houses, you have like an entry, just a gate to the back garden, and you just walk up and whatever. So it's all safe and undercover. So yeah, it's still in the entry. It's coming in tomorrow. Finally, because I want my fridge freezer. Who could get excited about an appliance? I never thought that would happen. But yes, I am. I really am. I've washed the drawers out. Stephen very kindly washed the other part out for me, which he didn't need to do. But that was lovely of him. So, yeah, I want it in. When I've got that fridge freezer in, I'll tell you what I'll do. If it hasn't gone to the tip at the time, the old one, I'll show you what it's like, and then I'll show you the new one. So I've took all the magnets off the fridge because they're coming to be on this one with ours. So yeah, they're going on with them. Yeah, we've got it. So that was a part of when they said, oh, we'll pull it through the front door area that way. And I went, no, you pull it through the back. I says, if by the chance it has fallen out quite a bit and the door swings open, I don't want water on my carpet. So he said, you said, oh, carpet. I said, I don't care. Oh dear, but I can't settle in and say, oh, I'm going up to my house. Feels odd. I'm going up to my mum's. I'm still calling it mum's. I've got her keys, which are staying with me. I've got a watch. I've got a pin badge, the poppy one. Got that. And yeah, just a few things like that. Fleece and a couple of other fleeces. And a coat, which is over there. And I don't think you can see all of it. And she's barely worn it. And it's gorgeous. And I've tried it on and I thought, I'm nabbing that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try it on for you because you've not seen it. So bear with me. So here it is. It's it don't look as like that on me because I'm a bit big, you know, big belly. But yeah, here it is. It's so nice. It's one of them wool ones in a teal shade. Now you can do it up to there like that, or I would leave it open like that myself, or you can just leave it completely open like that, and it fits me really nicely. So yeah, I've had it. Such a shame to leave it to go to waste or whatever. So yeah, that's more the colour, the teal. And yeah, you can see it's got, let me do this up. Should actually put it on a hanger, it would be easier. It's really nice quality. I think you can probably tell from that. If you can tell what I mean, it's got a shape to it. I'm not sure if it's coming up on camera. So, yeah, I thought, yeah, I need a few little things. And a couple of little ornamental perfume bottles. And I bought back some of the perfumes. One of them was a pack of 5 little mini bottles. And she's had them there ages and not opened it. I opened it. Now, if you've ever wondered what a gone bad perfume smells like, it's pure alcohol. Honestly, it must have been 40% proof. Be on your back. But wow. So yeah, I only managed to salvage one out there. The rest were just got off. And another couple. Just some little keepsakes, some little light fragrances that I could smell, have a smell on me, you know. Yeah. All I've got left of her now. She missed so much, honestly. Some days I just barely functioned at all. Some days like today I functioned. Taking it day by day, all I can do. So, yeah, I've rambled on for 40 odd minutes. I think I best let everyone go. But if you can, on the 15th, just light a candle for her. I'll really appreciate it. So anyway, everyone, that's basically up to date what's been happening. And this year has been, and we're only in May. The worst year of my life. Apart from the back end of last year, which was the worst end to a year of the life. So not great. So anyway, I'm going to go. I will see you again on another video very soon. Do all the good stuff if you want to. all of that. Like, comment, subscribe. I will see you again next time. Take care of each other. Goodbye.